Hey everyone, it's Elijah. We are going to watch through rehearsal from last night. It is currently Thursday, November 7th, 2024. We're going to watch through service. Jacob was switching with Dan as camera op, so we're going to take a look through and see just if there are any notes specifically, anything that pops out to me as room for improvement, and then I'll give you some more updates on just video and things that we can do. Stage presence and lighting, visual wise, at the end. So let's go ahead and jump in. Got our box cast here. Gonna go full screen, and this should be close to where service actually begins.
0-0 has hit. Perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Morning, church. I was down in the south. So I got my accent back.
Good staying on Cooper at the beginning. There's keys. Headroom's good. You could probably go even tighter. Good. Good use of camera 5. Showing the whole front line. That's good. Good, nice use of the wide shot. Might like to see camera 4 instead, so there's some motion. But good. Seeing just more than one. That's good. Yeah, good use of camera 6, showing the whole stage really just filled with people. That's good. Oh. Yeah, I think we need to zoom camera 4 in a little bit. And one thing that we're going to try and do a little bit better is not move from one wide shot to another wide shot. That's one thing we got off a call today with, if you guys remember, David, the guy that came in and evaluated kind of how things were going on a Sunday morning for us. And one thing that he said that we could really do to level up our live stream is not moving from one wide shot to another wide shot. So one thing to keep in mind. So I'll get you guys some reference material and we'll work on some training stuff for that. But that's one thing that might be helpful is not going from one wide shot to another. So not from like 1 to 4 or 4 to 1. Really, I think those are the only two, not going between those two. You can go from a wider shot to a medium shot, but maybe not from like a wide shot to a super close up. Yeah, but we'll work through some of that stuff. Just a little tip there. Stream also looks a little dark. Just in general. I like the framing on that. And I might zoom this out a little bit if you can. Just a hair. I don't know what's going on with Russ and my dad, but The windows look good though. like right here, having Timothy and Darren in the windows. Cool. Yeah, I think camera 4 might be the issue. It's just a little bit darker. Might need to brighten that up just a little bit. Yeah, I like that you went to the keys right there too. Kind of has that final line on that song. And I might go to a wide shot instead of the drum shot there, just for the transition. But overall, looked good. He's gone. Appear to have some technical issues on that. We're just gonna skip ahead. That's it. It's taking longer than expected. Yeah, I think we just need to lighten camera 4 a little bit. You know, actually, you could stick with drums on this shot, transitioning those two, because it is that drum fill that kind of goes into it. I might say camera 2 for this shot for couple different reasons. Number one, because 3 can't get quite zoomed in enough. I'd say because she doesn't have an instrument in her hand, you can bring it in a little bit tighter if you're just going to focus on her. And the reason why is because cutting Timothy in half here feels a little weird to me, and maybe it doesn't to you, and that's fine. I would probably say zooming this in, it's not going to be easy to do that, never mind. Yeah, maybe zooming it into about right here would be a little bit better, but I would say probably camera 2 is going to work a little bit better for that. Yeah, and you didn't use a lot of camera 2 there at the end of the last song, so I might think ahead and get ready for camera 2 in the center. Up to you. This is just a quick audio note. I'm having a really hard time hearing the vocalists, just in general. So I don't know if that's a mix issue or what, but I am using in-ears and still having a hard time there. So I don't know what's up with that. Like electric guitar, I think, is what's cutting through more than anything else. Not getting a lot of keys. I'm getting a lot of drum and a lot of electric guitar. So. Cool. Focusing back on the vocalists. That's good. And like the color temperature, that's the other thing. So if you look at Lexi's skin here versus here, this is a little bit closer to true tone. It actually needs to be a little bit brighter. See how that's different? That's the only thing between these two shots that you can use to compare. But yeah, if you look at her skin tone, especially on the side of her face, to here, you see it's much more red, a little bit warmer tone here. That's just one thing we're probably going to need to adjust just in general. And we're out of focus a little bit. Well, correction. We're out of focus here if the focus is supposed to be on Lexi since she's the one singing. I would say if we're going to focus on Timothy here, we need to get zoomed in more. That lens may not zoom in more. And if that's the case, then we'll need to focus on just what we can get properly focused on. And so that would be the subject, the main subject there. Yeah, that'd be my only note on that part. Yeah, so that's that wide shot to wide shot. You just want to try to avoid that if you can. It doesn't look bad. Like, it's not wrong. It's just something we can clean up a little bit. Yeah, I think that's going to work a little bit better. Mostly because, I mean, it's still a little awkward that you're getting base sticking out here. So maybe zoom it out just a hair. But so far, we haven't had any like tight detail shots in this. So I would say using camera 2 for those tight shots, just because we don't have anything currently in addition to that to capture tighter shots. We have a lot of medium shots and then those 2 main wide shots. So just a thought there. And if you're up in the booth and you're shaking your leg, it will transfer. Just that's what that jittery is. The jitteriness. Jitteriness? The jitter is coming from legs shaking, I think. Yeah, out of focus here, and it looks like Timothy is in focus. So you want to make sure that whoever your subject is, your main subject is in focus. And yeah, she's just a little bit out. It doesn't autofocus for you. Framing looks good though. Yeah, getting some shake with camera 4. I don't know why it's giving us such a hard time. I think the exposure we're seeing here is closer to what the room actually feels like, as opposed to this. This feels kind of dark to what our room typically feels like. So maybe getting the cameras to match this is going to be helpful. One thing just for this week specifically, we did adjust the exposure on cameras 5 and 4 for last week's service. So that could be part of why those ones seem to be the ones that are a little bit darker. Easy way to fix that is if you go up to File and Restore, or Control R on the keyboard, that will pull up the restore option, and just the most recent save in there is what you want to restore, and it'll restore all of the previous settings. So there's your little pro tip for that there. Yeah. Maybe just switch a little bit faster on that. Unless, if Cooper just said, Lexi will talk here, leave it there. Because she'll be talking. But I love going to the drums there. Getting kind of that driving beat that starts. Great.
Let's sing this out together. I'm chosen. I am chosen.
Oh, you fix it.
I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am.
Let's just make sure that, especially if you're on camera up, that light goes green. Just make sure you're focused on whatever you're seeing.
I am chosen, not forsaken.
But framing looked good.
I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am.
I like that you're seeing more than one person over there, right there on camera 3. It's good. Billy. Gotcha. Oh, Billy looked right into the lens. It's okay, buddy. He looks angry right there. He's having a good time, but he looked. If you're a volunteer that's also on the platform, just make sure you don't look into the lens. Thanks. One thing, just a quick thought, is using camera 2 to capture. So it would be Kaylee and Christopher on that side of the stage because camera 3 can't get that far to the left, to the stage right. That might be a nice use of camera 2 is if you rotate it, see those two, zoom it out just a little bit to be able to capture them. Especially when we're at this bigger part where we've seen Lexi sing this line, we've seen the whole team sing the line, and camera 3 is able to capture like Cooper and Macy and Lexi. Might be a cool ad to use camera 2 in that moment if you have the bandwidth to move it. Might be cool to move that over and zoom that in or zoom that out, excuse me, so that you could see them. Might be a cool ad there. Not a have to, just it could be cool. Oh, you have a new baby, Taylor. You're allowed to yell.
Yeah, remember we do the trash can ending starting on the 2. On the 2. Taylor will transition us into D. I'll do a little bit of a transition, talking here. And then I will say something along the lines of, hey, why don't you sing as Kaylee leads us in this? And then as soon as you hear me say that, go ahead and click.
Is this slider faster right now? I would leave it on piano for that transition. That's good. You could probably go to drums too if you wanted to. Actually, don't do drums first because it'd be going from drums to where Kaylee's at. So if you could zoom that out a little bit, that could be good. Just because it looks like that lens isn't going to be able to get just Timothy on electric. Yeah, this one just feels like there are too many things going on at once. Oh. Yeah. he's just out of focus. Yeah. I want the shot to work, but he's just not in focus, and it needs to be closer if it's going to be on him. Yeah, Billy getting into it back there. Nice. I feel like Kaylee and Macy are kind of in the dark. And maybe that's just... Let me look at my other monitor. Yeah, it feels like they're a little bit in the dark. I don't know if that's just they need to come in a little bit more. Now, I know this shot specifically is just a little too dark. So that's one thing that might be playing into that. But, yeah. Yeah. I might have gone to drums there before going to this wide shot. There's the bass. Yeah, I'd probably get ready. Just one thought there. I'd probably get ready with a wider shot for the transition to whoever's leading prayer. And then as you're in that wider shot, so maybe camera 3, one thing you could do is be in position and ready for whoever's leading the prayer piece, which I don't remember who it is offhand. But for the prayer piece, if camera 3, you want to be ready right after that for whoever's leading the prayer. Excuse me. That would be a huge help, just to be prepared, ready to go. That way, Jacob has a camera to throw that to while he's getting camera 2 ready, so we can have almost like that medium to wide shot. Not quite a wide shot, but a medium shot of whoever's leading the prayer time, and then go to the tight angle for the more zoomed in piece there. That could be helpful. Good job using the keys to transition.
How great the chasm that lay between us. How high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven.
just make sure we're focused on that one.
shadows of my soul.
And there's a lot of shaking, so I don't know if that's...
The end is written.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jesus Christ, my living. Who could imagine so great a mercy? What heart could fathom such boundless grace? The God of ages stepped down from glory to wear my sin and bear my shame. The cross has spoken, I
Yeah.
am forgiven. The King of Kings calls me his own.
Yeah, still just shaking a little bit.
Beautiful Savior, I'm yours forever. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah. Praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name. Jesus Christ, my living.
I will say that this service is not highlighting, but it's helping me realize that we do kind of have a blind spot on stage left. So we don't have anything like even midway through the room. Yeah, there's just not a good... I think we just need a balance to camera 3. We need something on the opposite side of the room that will then capture this direction, or whoever, once we get to the point where we're doing like a roving camera, someone moving around. I think that'll be a really important thing to do, is to capture this side, because I feel like, it sounds terrible, I kind of forgot Macy was up here. So the keys really gets captured by the keys cam, but I feel like that camera on that side would be able to capture the furthermost vocalist, but then also maybe zoom in to get some details on like electric guitar, even bass a little bit, and have those be kind of the primary spots. Has that been angled the whole time? It looks like it's on a little bit of an angle right here. Huh. Maybe that got bumped. Anyway, that's not important. But that's one thing I'm noticing, is it feels like it's very stage right weighted.
Seal the promise, your buried body began to breathe out of the silence. The roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Then came the
Yeah. It's just gotta be in focus. Good. Good. Capturing Billy do that. That's good. Yeah, just the lighting difference between this and that. Yeah, definitely not consistent. That's probably just a settings issue. Yeah, wow. Okay, so you go from that to that. Very dark. Yeah, and then just focus. Yeah, definitely out of focus. But yeah, I think that kind of helps with it being like capturing this side of the stage for sure. But yeah, just make sure we're in focus, because yeah, like Mace is completely out of focus. Cooper's out of focus. It's fuzzy, but it's not terrible. So that's just the only thing I would watch for there. Composition looks good though. Nice, balanced, plenty of headroom. Not too much headroom. It's good. With Cooper being the one to end the song, I'd either do a tight shot on him instead of drums, or
All right. Pastor, come back up after that.
or yeah, go to the wide shot like that.
There you go. There's service. All right. Pack up. Get out.
Cool. Yeah, so really not a ton there that I feel like needs notes. Yeah, very, very minimal stuff throughout. Not anything serious, I'll tell you that. Overall, I feel like it's still good. Having camera up, huge win. I would just say make sure that we're watching focus, which is the F1 button on the side of camera 3, or if you are in camera control, the little A with the circle. Outside of that, though, yeah, looks like the only technical issues were like the exposure on camera 4, which could have happened just because it wasn't restored from what it should have been last week, or what it was last week. So I think that's a big part of that. Outside of that, yeah, I mean, color temperature, just a little bit that needed some love there. Yeah, overall, pretty happy with it. So, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or just shoot me a message, reach out. Overall, yeah, service looked good. One thing, just in general, I mentioned that we had a meeting, and so the meeting was with David. David came in and he did the evaluation of our service. And one thing that some of you may have been here that day, but one thing that stuck out to me, just on the video side, was the idea of being artists still through what we're doing. So this is the last little spiel I'll make, and that's it. So you can click away if you're done. But specifically for the video team, and really just the technical side of everything, technically we do a lot really well. Next up, really, on like what we can learn and improve on, is being technical artists. So that's one reason why we added the click up in the booth for the video, and hopefully soon for like slides as well, is for timing. It does get a little tricky because we do have a fade, so you really need to hit the button before the actual moment. And maybe that's because we're using a fade and we should use a cut. We can experiment with that in the near future. And we're using that mix effect instead of just the cut effect. So, but that's one thing that he mentioned, is being more like musical, more artistic. So figuring out and feeling out the song, what like musical voices are we highlighting? Is it the keys? Is it the drums? And those are really the two that we can do right now. plus acoustic guitar. We can highlight that too with camera 2. But that's one thing to keep in mind is how we're doing it. We're treating the video switcher essentially like a musical instrument, and listening to the click, feeling out where it is. So that's one big part. Another thing that we might start seeing, and this is okay, is getting notes from whoever's leading musically that week. So whether it's Cooper, whether it's myself, or whether it's Timothy, whoever's leading that week, we may have notes for the video team, for the audio side of things, in how to capture certain moments, and what we're trying to convey, what we're wanting to feel in that moment. So that's another thing to keep in mind. You may get some of those where it's like, hey, we'd love to see if during that trash can, if we could have drums at the end. And so maybe you were like, hey, I was going to go to a wide shot as an establishing shot, but that could be a cool moment to capture. Then we're going to do that. As a video director, I want you to start thinking through that as well. Is what's the audience experience? So like the online audience. So not the congregation in the room, obviously, because video doesn't really affect that. But for those online, how do we keep them engaged? One thing that can be hard is when you go from one wide angle to another wide angle. It almost feels like security cam footage-y. So just try and keep that in mind. We want to be engaging visually so that people pay attention, so that they hear the message that our communicators, our pastors are trying to convey. What we're sharing through music, we want them to be able to engage with that so that it can plant itself in their heart too. So that's one thing on that side of that. The other thing is, if you're watching, make sure that we keep that energy up. It's really easy to almost look disengaged or focused when it's not our time to do a thing, and then when it is our time, then we liven up and we're like, oh yeah, now I should smile. Let's make sure that we're smiling and getting into it. Billy did a great job in this when Kaylee's leading her song. He's singing it out right behind her. That's what we want to see. We want to see the rest of the band, everybody on the platform. Like, we see you the entire time. There's not a time that you're on the platform that someone can't see you, or that's at least the mentality that we should have. People in the room are watching whether the camera's live or not. So we want to make sure that we're being authentic, but we also want to make sure we're portraying that energy and that excitement of what we're talking about and what we're sharing. So that's that side of things. But overall, just little tweaks here and there. We are introducing, for those of you that don't know, we do have the comms in, so the headset communicating devices. So if you have a camera operator that week, have both of you wear it. And you can ask for specific shots. If you're the video director, like, hey, can you get a shot of Cooper and Lexi, like a medium shot? Great. Can you get a shot, like a wider shot that gets as much of the stage as you can from that angle? Great. Can you zoom in as tight as you can on Christopher? Like anything like that, that's what those are there for. Not just communicating if a problem arises, but sharing, hey, this would be a great shot for us to capture, just in general. So, if you have any other thoughts or notes, feel free to let me know. But otherwise, you guys did a great job. So I think Jacob was video director, Dan was camera op, so great job, guys. Really did a great job. So if you guys have thoughts or questions, feel free to let me know. But otherwise, remember, God is a creative God, and you were made in his image. So let's be creative and technical artists, all for his glory. See you in the next video.